Hello, CNN. Regarding Lisa Lynn, great woman. Every single position, extorted sale, well, they were forced to indifference with evidence. No one understands everyone's a victim predator role. With the value nature system means to everyone and treatments of women with that. The concept of woman. And experts' relationship to it. Where and how experts are recorded within as original and progressed criminally foreign influence degenerate positions that they're using criminally, and they're recorded pretending that they're trying to hide methods and means a method whatever. They're recorded giving away their secrets that they're pretending they don't want to do it because they're using that as criminally foreign influence, offensive evidence. That's why I say they're using evidence reception bodies for crimes against each age of fact treatment nature, against mandate, as only that realized standing litigation, predatory litigation nature. It's a branch in every modern nation. Blaming on other because no one saw the theater, the method that was to areas first. In the movies and the cartoons. So, this is about, in other words, we have the agencies recorded with evidence rackets, where evidence of reception originally interbranch too, juxtaposed with reactions to the shared policing. There's a Maple Street at the end of the Berlin Turnpike. Goes two ways. Goes towards Trinity College. Maple Street goes down, and Broad Street. I have to go check that. But anyways, right there. At the end of the Berlin Turnpike before the heart of Hartford, there's like there are people that are online reported CIA in pattern of people that were pretending they had conversations with me. And then after this, and I don't know if they were doing it before, but they made fake conversation. In other words, these agencies and regular police recorded and confessed involved with the Scalora family that pretended they knew me through time. Because they see how they have fact treatment agents that don't even know each other, and other relatives of people associated with some sex predators and people related to him, and Wethersfield police confessed and recorded involved with crimes with the Scalora family. Scalora family also recorded and confessed, and branches of government interstate communicated consciously involved with evidence reception crimes with Claudia Scalora, other Scalora families, worse than interstate, and with people that attach me to fake conversations, forged names about federal criminals that their other family members have confessed and recorded crime rolls with evidence, in other words, in relationship to proven and further recorded and confessed crimes with evidences, and then crimes with areas that are covering that up, where and how federal criminals were recorded juxtaposed to houses in my area that were defendants of a former director of the FBI, and with a number of other positions of the FBI and of the CIA per them, and online and other ways, and then hiding this, which is offensive against American citizens through time cultivated roles, and they're recorded not letting mandated law by slandering people with evidences rackets, already stacking illusions in databases that they can't put on paper. So they've been faking paper through time. They've been attaching victims of each age and their family members to fake words, and to interbranch insidiousness collusion facilitated by what was in areas maintained original state breaching organized crime method. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police force, I'm not a criminal. This is about what evolves or what does not evolve. This is English. This is the value of English as an identity the sciences share. And where and how that's not true, always. That's what the value of simultaneously of the Arabic language, right to left, and of overall and overall down, and you know, in other words, there are, like we have Latin laws amended to our English laws. In other words, to our body of value of English law, word distinct, the fact treatment, quality of fact treatment nature. Life is a quality of fact treatment nature, just like energy, positive or negative, trinity nature, onto itself, onto that its own self system, just like each trinity nature, cell nucleus, cell body, cell wall, attached to each cell wall, body of value connection as our complete body and as the complete body of our identity. The Trinity, yin and yang, being three value as nature, simultaneously being five value as nature. See the pillar of faith. See this first pillar, because sciences of Islam, because sciences were criminally re-engineered before the messengers of modern religions. Campus Martius, of all different nations, was internation. They originally, before criminal internation, persuasions of internation sciences, they originally perfected the value of areas in those state sciences. But we had a database illusion, stacking, criminally re-engineered, Campus Martius justification natures and roles, maintained as tools that they knew would perpetually need to cover up life progressions, and which is simultaneously why I'm telling you why we're talking about evidence perception. Like why? Well, in other words, it's not that I'm repeating things. There's also recorded crime method, formal and private juxtaposed, evidence perception natures, where they pretend people are repeating each other. With a president, they're pretending President Trump is repeating himself because they're not letting him have a quality of fact treatment nature, capable of countering criminal insidiousness nature, where and how, and as our fact treatment nature as value, as nature, as a trinity nature, but also simultaneously, inherently, actively and progressively further positive or negative. Life is positive, energy is positive or negative trinity nature, as a forever nature, or as identity only as the physical, as negative value nature, which the difference is between the active relationship to the bond to matter, simultaneous battle. The bond to Earth's matter, distinctly tall positions to it, in relationship to its own identity, its value nature system of what is positive always and is not, and using exceptions to talk as value, as fact treatment nature. That is not yet. So it's going to be either positive evolution here, the quality of our fact treatment nature, or is it forced from here, Lethe of Hades. Some don't. The way it is as it is, it cannot, it won't. And they have bombs. And see, they're blaming this, and they have sanctions, treatments, and stuff like that built as criminal insidiousness nature, victim predator tools. States and areas in collusion with other nations, it's only going to raise. See, we're lucky to have Trump, but it's wasted because no one could. Same thing with Obama, wasted because for both reasons that President Trump, President Obama and every leader failed to speak because the opinion natures of states and areas of every modern nation are in collusion with NAS conviction natures, justifications of it, and so of our own law like that. We never had science that discerned. We have people making it personal, and that's maintained. And that's maintained knowing and with other databases, originally state. You think they just stopped? They had databases before computers for organized crime method slavery of our founding fathers. And see, we have physical delusions, but we also have criminal persuasions over agencies that are either criminally incompetent, even if they're all, everyone in there is undercover. They're anyways. We have bad people like that involved with things intercity, involved with crimes in my campus, but it's with other police forms, and it's tied to cases. So now they get more. They're doing it methodically, getting more and more people stacked to motivations, foreign and domestic, with strangers' names in their mouths, in minds, tied to database solution stacking with areas and in cases. But they can't. So they can hide that and pretend they don't realize that because they're hiding that. And with federal agencies, federal agents that are higher ranking, like former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, former standing chairperson of the RICO statute, dealing with organized crime, which evolved from the ACA, Organized Crime Control Act. And he has federal criminals that were his co-defendants in related cases. In a related case, part of a case, that was ongoing at the time of my father's death. But those people and court police and people associated with the courts were extorting me and others. They were forcing men and women to coercion into witness fabrication roles that no one understands, to sequence shifting crime roles no one understands because of the way they're using, just like the cell, they're using on-campus, inter-campus, off-campus, on-campus, connected. Like all kinds of training and policing and stuff like that. But it's also where it has, how it was lifted from a base already propagated criminally with foreign influence since before the births of our founders. That's why George Washington had to leave slavery, black overt, because they had slavery on everyone with the laws. But then they had the overt black slavery in the rackets, like with the Crow's Nest in Hartford, Connecticut, and where they had it specifically for a fact long-term breaching method, knowing that we would blame on others and on ourselves the real causes of force-sustained simultaneous pseudo-care, aggression, and all kinds of criminal insidiousness of nature, facilitated collusion and motivations that no one understands. So they're blaming on others. Each branch has lifted as fact-shaping nature, as victims. But then you get locked into that, which they knew they would do to each modern nation. So we had science and means that we had. They didn't even have cars, and they had those crazy, crazy laws on zoning laws, everything. You couldn't even speak about building infrastructure. And we're still in those box houses, tactically denatured relationships in the suburbs. That's why it's critical to understand how they set Hartford up better than Wethersfield. But then to be unfolded into 2-family, 3-family houses. Then to be packed in with more houses. Then to put everything underground. And to maintain the rackets with color by forcing people to the north end. Force sustained criminally foreign influence by gangland which is not my term, but it's recorded tied to the agencies criminally involved through time, criminally foreign influence, with the transition from ACA to RICO, and with the criminal bodies and criminal crime methods, with each age of fact, nature further recorded, and tied to this is the 2006 case with them, part of a case with them in what town? In New Haven District Court. That what came after proven sequence shift from inside. My father had hand delivered, time stamped his papers to go before a panel of judges in the Ninth Circuit, which was right in the context right before the Trade Center was attacked. So we come home, see the Trade Center was attacked. We were just right in that spot. You see what I'm saying? With that case, with the former director of the FBI. So he proved that there was someone from inside the court time-stamped it to make it look like it was post-dated late. Also, there are intercity police and court police from other courts in relationships to a Gill family and on-off campus police actors. And they use facilitating to them to roles to fact mistreatments, federal crimes with evidences with them though. And then they can't, they for different reasons. But then they're not allowing acts to be recorded. So then if you try to mention that, they make up lies about people through time per positions in the campuses that have been being criminally exploited by what no one understands, but through the criminal exploitations of Johnny Duke's relatives. Officer Magnanos has a relative with that name on the campus, either on the bunks or whatever. Also recorded and confessed involved with intercity police, abuses of women, with strippers and stuff like that. So CNN, Fox News, coming because everyone has to help. What was it? Lisa Ling was forced to ignore, and the only realized executive bodies to deal with the media, private and formal, are criminally foreign influence originally and stay many ways, in many contexts. And they want to debate about that by pretending they don't realize that, which is being exploited offensively. So when they're telling you things about, in other words, they're stacking databases with illusions. You go into court, if you go in alone, they're going to hurt you, put you to fake body language, fake words. If you go with your family, they're going to put them and you to fake words. They're going to talk through other people, force that. They're going to make confessions to you and others. And this is with and as police forms recorded, maintain criminally foreign influence through their uses, not just of evidence receptions, but of offensive directed crime acts, federal crime acts that are after, the progressive. There's many natures of crimes at once. So this is with and to the motivations of what people are calling racism with the police. They're victims, but victim predators of fact-cheating nature that is being directed by worse than training, by intercampus. It's an intercampus crime method, recorded that raised. Only time I know was him. He didn't say this. He will deny it, but it's recorded. Joshua Shumack and his mother recorded involved with through time, which was cultivated the motivations of these people to what was roles with predicate acts attached to me to fake conversations about the Trade Center, the sins too. I've been trying to report that. They offensively pretended I had conversations about agencies and with investigators of that, with investigators of things leading up to that, and tied to their roles with campuses, internation students coming and sharing our campuses here and there. And what really is behind, narratives about people being tortured in Cuba. They're here. Our agency, all of them. That's not science. You know what I'm saying? It's not science. With the nuclear weapons and all the that's they known and unknown. They're hiding. They're directing them to forget and to lie about the known. You know what I'm saying? And with our original founders, correlation's still not let. You're getting dug gone. You see what I'm saying? There's no science. Science is what made this problem. This concentrated, consciously, exploitations recorded, consciously maintained, facilitated upon the north end of Hartford, using black for evidences, crimes that were our formal, juxtaposed with overtly gangland. It means criminal. I mean, it's not my phrasing. I keep saying gang. I meant to say overtly criminal enterprise. And unrealized, known and unknown criminal enterprise methods. See, this is a criminal enterprise method, organized crime method, archetypal organized crime method. Now I'm saying as a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer. This is an organized crime method that Jesus Christ is about. Us needing to counter with the theft of our human fact treatment nature. That the Quran, the first part of it, is about with cipher about Allah. Cipher, in other words, knowing that until we have a nature of conversation that's capable of countering the forced internation ignored, forced shared markets positions, through and as roles with and as criminally foreign influence sciences, fact treatment nature, opinion nature, justifications of that, we're not going to be able to, the other part of the Quran is going to be defended wrong. That's why, in other words, for example, that's why it says in the beginning of the Quran, all you have to do is say that you believe in Allah, is the identity of space, is what my translation. And then all you have to do, and then in other words, if you don't believe anything else, you have the right not to pray in that mosque, not to believe. You have the right and even the obligation not to stop people from demonstrating that they don't agree that something could be the identity of space's wish, foreign as Islam. You say, well, how could it be that way with all that hard part? That's the other parts of the Quran. That's regarding the forced shared markets positions as fact treatment nature, as sciences treatment nature, as morality treatment nature in relationship to that, as opinion nature, as fact treatment nature. You can't appreciate that what needs to just keep repeating the same things to all different parts of itself, which is what President Trump is trying to do. We have worse than physical delusions, but that too juxtaposed. We have a tactically maintained sensibilities of the human fact treatment nature, offensively preventing people from reporting crime acts because we have interbranch still formal delusions, still predators maintained. So they're incapable of taking police reports. So you don't even know. They do such sick and insidious things. They're making up, pretending things are recorded to hide proven child sex offenders as a principal of a school. To hide what they're still hiding, which came before that. He was arrested with businesses and police associated with him reportedly taking just sentenced for taking upskirts of girls in stores. And he says he has mental health problems per the paper. They also attached me to fake conversations, into fake relationships to strangers and other family members of students, to fake conversations with other students, with other mothers and fathers of different grades, because they're hiding how they're covering up lie progressions. They're associated with Harvard Hospital. Many doctors, men and women, involved with area crimes because of their relationship to crimes recorded with cases and with courts, and with their ties to prisons, and their roles with areas crimes together. Database illusion stacking, calling in complaints that are not real, fake information, officers forging names with doctors, with themselves, all kind of formal drug crime roles others used for how they're hurting each age of fact treatment nature, how facilitated to this where no one understands it. So this is the real cause for the evil police. It's not, if anyone black was in my position, they would swear to God it's prejudice. Or if they were in my position, they would, if I was black, I would never have figured it out. And you could see too that it was black and white agencies, and or agencies that were raised not knowing that they're pseudo sophistication tools. It had to be, black and white collusion to maintain whatever wanted to survive in Africa and in Europe that got caught in a criminal enterprise together, probably internation. So they took over, and then they had to denature everything to keep themselves from getting caught. So we have like a virus that's like a human value nature system set up to cause negative value nature progressions, to perpetually cultivate the criminal insidious natures, reactions to areas facilitated simultaneously offensive and preemptive evidence reception, organized crime breaching method, the roles, but all blaming on others, tactically. So, and if you try to talk about American history, it's nothing personal against Trinity College. They have right next to it the set up. This is a breaching method set up on the southwest side, right a little off campus, near one of the police departments involved with the inspectors, involved with the ill natures with the kids and with the agencies and the branches. But this time we're going to heal, because forgiveness was for them. So, also tied to that is the Crow's Nest. That's the name of a fraternity, reportedly. I don't know. I remember I read that's where a porch fell not a year or two ago. A porch. This is also police forms on and off campus, triggering being used with interbranch police for recorded untimely death crime roles where they had their other natures of crime, like Hugh Ogden, and tied to people with identity thefts, where the police are stealing people's identity online with mailboxes, with letter tricks and stuff like that through time, tied to policing with all kinds of corruption with UPS, recorded and confessed, tied to a Joshua Stryker I never had anything to do with, never had a class with him. He's with Dean Alford on and off campus, also recorded and confessed, involved with people with like criminal justice associated with those clubs there, right next to the school with like and the one there was like what is it called, to Bucky Jones. People tied to him, they said, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just, they said someone in his high school A Gill family was saying this, and others. And see, these are people that were all making confessions to me sequentially, and they were changing their positions because it was in relationship. This is all kinds of child abuse with their roles with courts, with doctors, with kids, and with various natures of police. Their family with private police on CCSU, and they get cultivated to the roles with crime acts recorded on off campuses with them, and with them directing offensive and preemptive for later to be exploited database solution stacking crime roles, fact treatment nature, witness fabrication roles, in conjunction where they have to make mistakes and hide this by pretending they can only pretend passions together one way, requiring naive fact treatment mistakes, requiring people to pretend they hate people because they do things wrong, like domestic abuse, which they don't even know what they're talking about. I swear to God, I never put my hand on a woman in my life, by the way, but I yelled in my life in apartments because of the same recorded people tied to child crimes with my grammar school. Before I even knew they were associated with the area, there was already recorded and confessed, tied things to it from people I didn't know that were directed to confess that from Wethersfield, tied to where I was in New Britain. And every year since, other strangers and people have been recorded and confessed criminally involved. And online. And like with untimely deaths connected to the same clique that brought up, that was on campus, that were tied to other professors that were recorded, confessed, involved too, with various interbranch police and actors and judges' family members associated with the campuses criminally through time. That's why we have the wrong outcomes. Why little kids and stuff like that, they get even set up, put in prison, and then no care. And they say, look at the streets. That's why the streets are like that. They even have undercover with the streets specifically, so they can't talk about that to make it too hard to talk about the pseudoscience. It's worse than pseudoscience. It's simultaneously fake care, aggression, and criminal, all kinds of juxtaposed roles with method, stacking people to motivations and to natures needing to pretend they know other people, to hurt other people because of witness fabrication rackets. In other words, to exploit all exceptions per criminally foreign influenced processes. That's why they don't want you to know about it, because they can't take it. They can't speak without tricks forward. That's why they can't speak in writing. It's recorded online. I'm not a doctor. It's recorded. These doctors are recorded like with physical delusions regarding what it means when people say they want things written in writing. And because they're with men and women recorded, facilitating and covering up with their investigators and with courts, with action switching names and things like that, attaching fake things to the family members of the little kids being sexually abused, other ways they're hurting them, all different natures of crimes, not just sexual. That's what they're hiding behind, because it's a criminality recorded between the courts and hospital campuses, and police associated with them, and criminal justice, doctors with jails, and they were recorded, confessed, raised with roles with kids, and with systems like Everything, like Community Center, recorded and confessed, involved with the rest of the child sexual offenders, tied as the ones with the police, tied further, recorded online. ERICKNERR, recorded and confessed with sex crime acts and evidence crime roles with police inside the court of New Britain Superior Court to hide child sexual predators, to attach lies to their family members so they could sustain rackets through different people associated with Justin Klavinskis that sought me out to demonstrate also his roles with two Mendez brothers, recorded and confessed involved as detectives, pretending things recorded, sequence shifting, forging names. I don't know the names of the others that did this before that, and then with that. In other words, the Wethersfield police were online with rape threats messaged and posted, and they had been doing this through time as passion crimes to make it look like I was attached to people like Joey Quest through time too, recorded and confessed. They were directed to make evidence receptions illusions, pretend they knew me, with judges' family members, like a Delaferro family, a Fred Grisette. So I don't know these people. They're like, and also they said Maple Avenue Cafe. I don't know if they have real shootings there or not, but there are some sick men and women of investigators involved with that place pretending they know people through time. That's mine. On off campuses crimes. You're not supposed to be doing this. Also, Hartford Hospital campus has many doctors of psychology, all kinds of rackets with the streets, with evidence reception. So then what happens? They won't follow mandated law. It's recorded. They don't care. They don't care. WFSB, they fake both sides of stories, pretend they had a conversation with me and my family, put lies. They admit too to rushing up on people too, so they can go back and pretend that it was just all as part of the recorded. Investigators privately associated with the formal ones and with the court men and women who did, it's a crime to hide the men who have to make rape threats against men and women and kids and with each other playing fact cheating games to try to pretend to be men. They can't do it. They can't put anything on paper. They use men and women intercultural with the KKK theme, child sexual crimes, child drug crimes, trial crimes with the databases, simultaneously crimes against their family members, attaching them to fake conversations, telling the media to pretend they had mental diagnosis, relationship to doctors in the past, so they could hide their crime roles with those doctors that weren't even my doctor. I had no doctor in the past, child mental diagnosis. These are criminal people. You know what I'm saying? Joe DeMauro, a police officer, recorded and confessed involved with evidence crimes directed by others tied to him, also recorded and confessed, like Eric Jensen, involved with the child sex predator clique that in my area, recorded and confessed with further child predator sex acts tied to them. And I don't know who the rest of them are. There's a DAVEKNERR. And then that's Knurr, whatever. KERR is also recorded and confessed involved with the police that arrested the principal with the child who they hid, since before that, since they're tied to the kids they were abusing all kinds of ways, with parents intergrade, spreading rumors and lies, per how it was when I was in the same grammar school, the same cliques, tied to recorded and confessed abuses of the daughter of the, or taking wanted or unwanted roles to degenerate evidence crime rackets and tricks with cases and with interbranch families now recorded and confessed involved with the child sexual and other natures of juxtaposed crimes and by a method stacking motivations for people to slander me. A Joshua Julian was also recorded and confessed by people in my area involved with the police, with the Facebook policing, spreading rumors, using the Facebook page of the Wethersfield Police Department with interbranch sheriffs, like also recorded and confessed tied to crimes with Joshua Stryker. I never had a conversation with my life. Nonverbal. Dean Alford recorded him and confessed him tied to his recorded and confessed on off-campus confessions and crime acts with people tied to abuses of girls with police forms. We witnessed fabrication crimes and drug cliques associated with the people, associated with the criminal justice related to whatever stewardships of they said they had of Mike Oliver. And they confessed and recorded that criminal, their roles with criminal foreign influences intercity between New Britain and Hartford through time. With the same Wethersfield cliques also recorded and confessed tied to crimes with the state judicial branch, and with the games where they won't get people to me the people's names. They record and confessed and demonstrate criminally involved with the evidence perception and offensive pattern. They stand there and they know that they're demonstrating their roles with what, not letting every year of someone's life someone report juxtaposed natures of crime acts from people who confess. There's laws against confessions, like things like that, like all tied to the body dumping spot of even if it's made up, because the actor they had in the article, real or made up, who they convicted as the serial killer, that guy is recorded and confessed with evidence crime rules with the police that were with the child abuses and women abuses, police forms sharing women, and for the men they share with him to pretend they don't like each other for fact cheating rackets because they're being used for lie progression cover-ups and offensive allusions tied to them making mistakes and directing mistakes in cases, worse than interstate. One can't even report trade center crime acts. They say, "Oh, don't forget what? Take the crime." They attached me to a fake conversation about 9/11's recorded. They forged doctors' names. I'm trying over here.